Yo, what's going on, snipers, and welcome back to our Tokyo Tropic Turtles Draft to Glory franchise mode here in MLB The Show 24. So, in last episode, I know it's been a little bit since our last episode because I was sick, and I apologize about that. I just came out of the cold out of nowhere, and at least I'm back to full health now, so I'm actually kind of in the mode that I could actually understand what I'm doing, because when you're sick, it's really hard to understand how to make like nice signings and all that stuff to make sure the team gets set up properly. So wanted to make sure I was in the right mindset before recording another episode. But anyways, if you didn't catch last episode, we've ended up finishing off the season simulation. As you can see, we had our best season yet in 2032, going 48 and 114. So that being 21 more wins than the year before. So almost doubling up, so to speak, which is very exciting. So I think this team is only going to get better. And I'm very excited to obviously see what ends up our teams looking like for next season, and also what the draft class for next year is looking like too, because obviously another good draft class or something like that would definitely help set us in the right trajectory, because I think right now we're probably going to be eventually at some point like closer to a 500-ish team. Like maybe we're going to be finishing like 60 something in whatever the heck the rest of the record would be. Maybe we're going to get up to like 70 wins soon. So if we could have one of these draft classes that give us like a generational Japanese guy, that could easily take us from being a team that's getting closer to 500 to a team that's maybe over 500 down the road as well. So obviously it would be nice if we could have a good draft next season as well, and just build upon this prospect pool, because the team I think is starting to come together. We're getting some good results from guys in the minors, and also our major league team is starting to develop really nicely. So yeah, I think this team is definitely starting to actually develop into being a team that could make the playoffs. But obviously it's going to probably still take a number of years of work, hopefully within the contract of guys like Parker Iwamura, because once that contract ends, obviously we're going to have to start paying some of these guys even more money. But we have our top 3 pitchers locked up on long-term deals, which is really, really nice. So that should help us in terms of defensive play. We're hoping also that our batters could actually heat up as well, and that could definitely set us apart from being a good team or an okay team to a good team. So anyways, before we get into this offseason, let's get into your guys' comments and see what you guys have to say about last episode. And then, yeah, we'll get through an offseason in this episode, because obviously I'm kind of breaking up the season simulation now and the offseason itself. So the first 3 comments are from Nick Bucker Barons OC. The first one says, keep your batters not out of options down 1 more year. 2, your window isn't next year, it starts the year after. So he's saying the ones that are not out of options to basically keep them down 1 more year. So I think that's a couple guys down there. I don't remember exactly who. So guys like Theodore Lee, I think, is not out of... Oh, wait. Keep your batters not out of options down 1 more year. So, yeah. So, like, Theodore Lee has more... way 3 options. He'll probably be a bit before he still makes the majors. Guys like Oka obviously have every single one of their options. Raymond Park has all 3 of his options, so we don't have to worry about those guys. Shin has still some options, so he could still stay in the minors. So at least those type of guys should still develop longer, because they still have a lot of options available, which is great. Nick also says, keep your AAA pitcher down 1 more year. So he's talking about one Vincent Tan. So Vincent Tan, he's saying to keep 1 more year down there in AAA, which I tend to agree with, considering he still has 3 options and he's not even eligible for the Rule 5 draft. I think obviously keeping him down there for 1 more season is doable, and then obviously he could come in and be a nice number 4 or 5 guy in our pitching rotation, maybe knock out somebody like a Matsui or something out of the lineup, and maybe he comes in. So yeah, Vincent Tan obviously is looking pretty good. He has been pretty good in AAA so far. I don't remember if he played in AA. I feel like he did play in AA, but if he's only played in AAA, he's been really solid so far. So once he makes the majors, I'm hoping obviously he can make an impact. Same with also Kazuhito Hayashi. These 2 guys are definitely future pitchers, I think, in our rotation. And then Nick also gives his MLB stock watch. I think he also did give his minor league stock watch, but for some reason the comment just disappeared out of nowhere again. Like that happened last week as well or something like that. So I don't know what happened with it, but he gives his stock watch for the MLB where he says +5 Peter Yamazaki, top catcher in baseball, and also Parker Iwamura. +3 for Nishi, deep potential to be honest. William Yokoyama for making the All-Star, and Vincent Seo. +1 for Jung, Stan Nguyen, Leonard Sato, Eric Yamamoto, and Walter Cho. And then he also says +1 for Nomo, Tom Lee, and Brian Chu. -1 note to Hideki Takayashi, and then also to Tom Koo, because Tom Koo had a down year. So that was his stock watch. And then we had Dylan give his stock watch for all the prospects through basically double, AAA, and the MLB. It's a long list. I'm going to not read it all out because there's just a lot of players on it. But basically what I did is I did the average of what you could see on Dylan's comment and also what Nick was saying, and I averaged it out. If Nick didn't have players listed on his that Dylan did, basically I just gave it whatever Dylan said. So everybody pretty much got a boost on this team. There were some people that got some drop off, but a majority of the players that we had on a roster in double, AAA, and the MLB actually got a boost, which is very exciting. The next comment is from Ryan the Sharky, who says, I think Nguyen deserves a slight boost for that one hitter he just threw. And well, the interesting thing about our pitchers actually is I was looking at their potential, obviously because I'm adjusting the potentials with these players. Parker Iwamura and Stan Nguyen, I believe both have already max potential, so they cannot get any more potential than they currently have. I believe Walter Jung also is like very close to it, like he's at like 97 potential or something like that. So a lot of these guys can't really go up by much more. Even I think Yamazaki might be at 99 potential. So sooner rather than later, if they start to drop off, obviously their potentials could go down and stuff. But right now, a lot of these guys are already kind of maxing out, which is kind of crazy. And the last and final comment is from Xavi Ronaldo, who says, what I meant was you need to set the average yearly salary that he wants for a long-term contract while you have just on just 1 year. That way, you don't have to scroll to $100 million worth of salary. For example, say if he wants an average annual value of $15 million, you set it to 1 year, $15 million. Then you adjust the years to what you want to offer. Then you could adjust the total salary to match his interest. So yeah, I kind of understand what you mean now. I was a little bit confused just because I just never usually do it that way. But obviously, to save time, it would make sense to do something like that. So we're going to try and do that this offseason. And hopefully I do it correctly. If I don't, it's probably just because my mind is just completely gone from when I've had my cold. So anyways, there's that. And let's get into this offseason and see if we could get this team up to snuff. And then hopefully, like, we find out some good stuff from the draft lottery results, because obviously if we have the top pick, that'd be nice. And then hopefully the draft class coming up is actually one that could benefit us, because there's been some pretty bad ones in this series so far, but there's also been some pretty solid ones. All right, so we got some free agent negotiations here, but I don't think I'm going to bring back any of these guys, because obviously these two guys are just filler players. I could bring them back, but I'm pretty sure... Actually, I should bring back Perez, because we don't have a lot of closers, so I am going to bring back... Okay, maybe I'm not going to bring him back. I don't know why he's trying to get $21.5 million, but he's not going to come back for sure. Jonas Strong's not really important because we have a ton of relievers, and he was just like a filler player again. And Yu Chang, even though we did claim him in the Rule 5 draft a number of years ago, he has started to drop off considerably. He did pick up 34 RBIs last season, which is great, but he's down to a 59 at 37, which makes me think obviously retirement is not too far away for this guy. I don't think he's worth bringing back. And obviously we do have more third basemen now too, I think. Let me actually go to third base. Because if we get rid of him... Yeah, Richard Chen easily could take Yu Chang's technically spot as like the next best third baseman. We also have Koji Yamazaki, Jeffrey Saito. Yeah, I think it's definitely time that we let go of Yu Chang because he has just declined quite a bit. So every single one of these players are going to be let go of. But obviously, if we need to, we could bring some of them back to fill out a roster if we need more roster spots. Because we did have some retirements in last episode, but... majority of them are like pitchers, I think, so we might not need them because we do have a lot of pitchers already. In terms of reviewing our staff, we need a third base coach and a manager, so let's get to those. Let's try and bring in some ones that will actually give some chance to our team to be even better than they have been. I think some of these coaches and stuff like that will actually want to come to a team like ours because we're on the uprise. Obviously, we're still not great, but maybe they want to be part of the solution to the future of this team, which would be great. So let's see if we could get these guys in, if possible. That would be nice. And let's send to the first free agency portion. So there's our third base coach, Jared Norcross. Welcome aboard. Will we get that manager as well? No, we will not, as Villalobos goes to the Cardinals instead. Let's stop simulating, because obviously we do still need that that manager. That's important to the team. If we go to, where is it again? No, it's not budget. It's hard to remember where all these things are in this game. Roster. No, it's not that. Coach contracts. There we go. I don't know why I did not see that originally. Okay, let's try and get Pedro Sixto in as our manager. So we'll see if he'll accept that. And then we got some 40-man stuff to deal with. So Kaz Hayashi actually needs to be on our 40-man roster, which is interesting. So he might be on the Major League next season, but he could also be sent back down because he does have options. Same with Eric Yamashita. We don't need to rush them, so we probably will send them back to AAA. There's a chance on that. Hayashi, though, could end up being in the lineup instead of somebody like Matsui or David Na, if we really want to, but I'm not too sure on that just yet. So we'll add Hayashi to our 40-man roster, of course, because he needs to be on there, because or else he'll get claimed. We'll add Yamashita as well, because Yamashita is an important reliever. There's a ton of important pitchers, so most of them should be on our 40-man roster. Russell Yang, he's not going to get claimed at that overall, I don't think. I just don't think he's going to get claimed. So I'm probably not going to add him to our 40-man yet. He had a really good year, I think, last year. Or maybe it was a different one. Maybe it was Yabu who had a really good year. I always get the two confused. But he's 28 and only a 62. Obviously, he still has B potential. But I don't think any team would claim him because he's not going to reach that potential likely. So I'm not going to add him to our 40-man. But I could if I really wanted. But I'm not going to. I don't know if there's anybody else, though, that's worth putting on here. I wish there was an easier way. Is there a way to see Rule 5 eligible? I don't think so. I have to actually skim through it all, which kind of sucks. So let me actually just go through like the AA roster on here and the AAA roster and just see if there's anybody. Oh, Walter Choi. Yeah, Walter Choi, I guess, has to be added. Just because obviously we do not want Walter Choi and stuff getting claimed either. I'm just going to add some of these guys even if they might not get claimed. Now it's saying he's not eligible for the Rule 5. Oh, it's because I just added him. That's probably why. Russell Yang, obviously, like we said, doesn't really matter too much because he's probably not going to get claimed. I think everybody else in AA should be fine. Yep, that's pretty good. Okay, what about AAA? What about AAA? Anybody here that could get claimed that we do not want to get claimed? Why does it change back over to the attributes once they reach a certain player? That's kind of annoying. It was Raymond Park. Raymond Park's an interesting one. I'm going to also add him. Might as well, because he might actually be more of a stopgap for Theodore Lee. So we could add him to our 40-man too. We actually might have to remove some people from our 40-man roster here soon, which would be interesting. Let's go back over to here. Oh my goodness, why does it go back? That's friggin' annoying. Hiroyuki Yamada's not going to get claimed, I don't think. But he could. If he gets claimed, it's not the end of the world. We have a lot of relievers, so I'll keep him there. Yabo is kind of a weird player too. I don't think he's going to get claimed. Because some of these guys could get claimed, but I don't think they will. And then DeAndre Zhu is not even ours, so that's all good. That's all good and ready to go. Salary arbitration. This is where it's going to be interesting because we got some big guys to give contracts to. We got there and also in the tender contract screen too. So this is going to be a very important offseason for our team. Let's start with the bottom of this list because we should be able to just get some of these guys on arbitration to fill out our roster. So there you go, Reader. Actually, I should start with the more important players. Let's go with Saito. Kevin Sato's 29 already, which is not great, but he is a good player. 5-year deal's kind of expensive. Considering his age, he could drop off before it, and that's a little bit of a risk. 4 years. And then how much would he want at 4 years? That's really not that expensive, though. If you go to 5 years and he only wants an average annual value basically of like $3 million a year, it's not overly expensive, but I feel like that extra year could be detrimental. Like he could start dropping off. But also he could be really good. 10.8. 10.8 for 4 I think should be okay. 2.7 a season. Yeah, I think that'll be fine with me. Let's do it. Sure. Hideki Takayashi. I think I'm going to offer him only like a 1-year deal. Because we obviously have some other catchers. Like Nomo is probably going to take his MLB spot, to be honest. So a 1-year deal is probably where I'm leaning with him. Some of these other guys that we took in the Rule 5 draft at this point are losing their MLB status, in a sense. I don't want to give him 2.15, so I'm probably just going to talk Shane Sasaki down to a 2-year deal at I guess 1.5 a season. Hubbard doesn't matter too much, but we do need still guys in bodies in AAA and AA, so might as well sign some of these guys as well for like 800K just to fill out the roster spots. Because we know how important it is to have actually players on our minor league teams as well. I mean, eventually some of these guys might just get cut completely because we have enough players already, but I want to be sure we have enough roster players first. So we'll get these guys signed up on one-year deals and barely any money. And same as this dude too, and that's all good and ready to go. Yeah, that's good. What was I gonna do here with the Reader? 3.6. Yeah, he's trying to get a lot of money, Reader, kind of for some reason. It's okay though. Tendered contracts. This is gonna be interesting. Yeah, we have some pretty big names here. All right. How long is this list? Ah, it's pretty damn long. Oh well. Oh well. Let's go to the bottom of this list here and just get through these low-end contracts that aren't gonna matter. Because some of these guys are just literally like $200,000. And then we'll get obviously to the big boys. Yamazaki, I want to kind of give him a long-term deal because he is our best hitter by a large margin right now, I think. Obviously, like Tom Lee and stuff is good too, but Yamazaki had a really solid year last year, so I think banking on that would be a good thing because obviously having a catcher is important for the future of this team. Usually I cut this part out, but the thing is these contracts will be important to show you guys, I think, because normally in the offseason I go through a lot of low-end contracts and stuff like DeAndre Zoo, but since there's a lot of important contracts like Tom Lee this year, we might as actually go through it because we're at the point where actually we have mostly prospects in our lineup. We're almost cut through all those guys that we signed years ago to just fill out a roster, which is good. So eventually at some point we won't have to deal with that unless we start having retirements to guys we actually drafted to, which is going to be interesting to see who becomes the first guy to retire out of a roster. And I would assume it's probably going to be like one of those 29, 30-year-old guys that are already on the team. Like the relief pitcher, which I can't remember his name for some reason, like Chu or something. There's so many guys that have the same last name. I literally get confused with this so much. Because sometimes when you guys are even mention about boosts and stuff like that, sometimes you say like this person's last name, but if there's another person with that last name and you don't specify, and it's just like, which player are you referring to? Like, it's actually kind of insane. So there you go, Chung. We already got you. Yeah, we have a lot of guys to sign every single offseason, but I think the team is coming together. We're starting to build that puzzle. There's just a lot of missing pieces, I think, still, but I think it's starting to take form. Like, you could tell what the puzzle is going to be, but obviously you could also don't know if it's actually all going to fit together perfectly. Because obviously some of these guys might be good right now, but some of them might not be good when we're actually contending too. So it's a little bit of a gamble, but that's how we're running the series. And I don't think I still want to sign anybody in free agency in terms of like Asians and stuff like that didn't get drafted until we know for a fact that it's almost impossible to do it just via the draft. Because just via the draft makes it a little bit more interesting and also more personal too, because I like the fact that we've drafted every single one of these guys on this roster. Just makes us feel like they're more a part of the team than some other players that we just pick up randomly, you know? Okay, we are almost through this. Had to ramble a bit while we get through these signings. Okay, yeah, we're getting close to the top of this list. Good. Finally. And I have to double check that I actually offered a contract to everybody because sometimes it skips over players. And I don't want to lose somebody important because that would not be good. Not that any other teams probably would go after some of these guys, but you never know. Okay. 10 on a one-year deal. Tom Lee. Perfect. Charles Nomo. It'll be exciting to see what Charles Nomo does this year as a full-time roster player. I think he's going to be a good third baseman for us, which might help us in terms of winning some games. All right, so the one player I wanted to give a long-term contract to, I think this offseason, is just Yamazaki out of the batters. Let me just double-check everybody else has a contract offer, which seems to be the case. Yep, okay, good. So Yamazaki, we are going to make you an offer here. Trying to think of how long term we want to sign him. Obviously, a 292 average is fantastic. The 20 home runs is great. So I think locking him up is great for this team. We have a lot of people on a front-loaded contract, so a normal contract base would probably be fine, if I'm not mistaken. So if we go to 1 year, he wants, what is the minimum that he wants that's actually good in the green? Because I think this is closer to, wow, he still wants under that much? Damn. Okay, so we can go to this, and then we go to that. Oh, wait. Is it that? Maybe it's like that. I don't know. Let's just go back for a second here. And go make offer here. So 1 year, he wants 10.5. Okay. How much years do I want to give him? I'm trying to think, because obviously 6 years takes him till he's 32. He should be still fine when he's 32 years old. 33, he should be okay, but once you get to like 34 and above, it's like, it might not be great. He is a star player. He's definitely our best catcher, and likely we'll always use Nomo as a third baseman. And we don't have any other catchers in the system, so 7 years would take him till he's 33, we said. 8 years till he's 34. I think 8 years might be okay to me. Payout structure. I don't want to do a front-loaded contract. I don't really want to do a back-loaded either. I think I'm going to just do a normal one for him. Let me just get it back to where it was, interest was higher. Let's get this interest back to, like, up to here to full interest. Go up to here. Keep going back till full interest. I think that's what you basically meant, Xavi Ronaldo. Not 100% sure, maybe not. But we'll try and get him, I think, on an 8-year deal if I can. Which obviously is a lot of money to spend, but I do really like him. We do have other guys that are important to the future of this team too, but I really like that batting average though. I just really hope that he stays healthy. Like, he could end up being the, if you guys watched my Vancouver Rain series last year, I think Giancarlo Sixto might ring a bell to some of you guys. He was my catcher, I think, and I'm pretty sure he was a really important piece to the team that eventually went on the World Series. Spoiler alert about that, but that series has been out for a long time at this point, so if you didn't see it, you could go watch it. But 8 years, yeah, I think an 8-year deal is something I'm willing to do. I think it's what I'm willing to do. $182 million, that's a 22.8 average. Let's go up to a 23 million average, just to be nice to him. So we'll go to, what's the lowest on that? 183.6 for 8 years. And just a normal structure. There is no backloaded, no front-loaded to this. I think I'll do that because obviously with having a lot of front-loaded contracts right now, I don't want to have too much front-loaded contracts. But I also don't like backloading contracts because the players are dropped off by then and are still making a lot of money or making more money. So let's go with this. 8 years at $138.6 million. We'll see if Yamazaki accepts that. If he does, that will be very, very exciting to this team and the future of this team as well, because he's probably one of the backbones if we want to win a World Series down the road. So I think we're good with that, which means we could actually advance a few days. That took a bit, but at least we are almost getting through this offseason relatively quick if guys are going to accept. Let's skip through this and let's stop the simulation just so I can see how the contracts are dealing out. Looks like we got Yamazaki on that deal, which is great. And Sato has not accepted yet, but he probably will soon. That's my guess. We do still have a lot of money in budget. Not as much as in prior years. But looks like Yamazaki is on board on that contract, which he is. So he's going to be getting $23 million for the next 8 years till 2040. Might be a risk, but also I think I'm very excited for this guy. He's also our best actual Japanese-born player, I think, because technically Iwamura is from Indiana, Jung is from China, and Nguyen is from South Carolina. So technically the best Japanese player we have is Yamazaki. So signing a Japanese player on our team to a long-term contract, I think the Japanese fans will be very happy about that. So I think that was an important move for our team. And hopefully Sato accepts his contract thing soon too. And then we are pretty much ready to continue simulating at that point, which is great. We do get our manager, so welcome aboard to Pedro Sixto. Speaking of Sixtos, let's stop the simulation for a second and see what we got here. Yep, okay, that's good. So we're just waiting on those guys. Did I not offer a contract to De Jesus? No, I did. Okay. Both those guys will accept at some point anyways. Doesn't matter too much because we could sign some more people. We already have 40 people on our 40-man roster. So there is a chance at the start of the season I will have to remove some people if need be. But let's continue to simulate. Wow, Steve Cortez just signed with the Houston Astros. Damn, that's actually kind of insane. Because if you guys don't know who Steve Cortez is, that's the guy that he went in the draft to... Where did he go again? He was like a 99 overall. I'll show you guys what he looks like just for some extra content in this offseason. But Steve Cortez, this guy was drafted back by Kansas City. And in Kansas City must have dealt him or something. He didn't end up going to Tampa Bay. Last year he was fantastic in Tampa Bay with 44 home runs and 114 RBIs. He's only 25 years old and he just signed a massive, massive contract in Houston. It's a backloaded contract too. Like 2042, the guy's making $50+ million. I mean, I don't blame Houston for signing him to that, but goddamn. Like, this guy's already got a good repertoire. Like, he's already been an MVP by the age of 25. Already Hank Aaron Award, an all-star appearance, a Silver Slugger. Huge signing there for the Astros, which is kind of scary. Wow, okay. We'll see what ends up happening with Houston. They're probably going to end up winning the World Series soon with him on their roster, my guess. I'll go and no on that front, and everything is good. Okay, let's continue to simulate so we can find out about, obviously, the draft lottery, because that's going to be exciting to see if we're drafting first overall or not. We've only drafted first overall one time so far, which is quite impressive considering the fact we have a decent-ish roster, I would say, already on paper, but it would be nice to get another first overall pick, and there's our ratings now, actually, in terms of our depth chart. Obviously, third base isn't accurate because Nomo would be playing in that spot, I think. But we're starting to build up a pretty good positional ranks and stuff like that. Like, better than before, obviously. So we already have the 9th best catcher in the MLB, and that obviously is who we just re-signed in Yamazaki. Alright. So that could get better, obviously, in the outfield a bit. But we are starting to build up a team. We are starting to do it. Which is fantastic. We'll skip through all these other off-season transactions. And we're ready for the Rule 5 draft, which I think draft lottery is before. And yes, it is. Okay. 2032 draft lottery. We obviously have the best odds. Last year we finished 48 and 114. The next worst team was 66 and 96. I feel like this year, if our team stays healthy, there's a chance we might not be the worst team in the league. There's a chance. Because last year, obviously, or 2 years ago, having 20-something wins, this last season having 40-something wins, I feel like we could definitely break 60 wins if our team's healthy enough. Yeah, I think we might not be the worst team in baseball this upcoming season, but it depends obviously on how the guys decide to perform and if we stay healthy. Anyways, let's find out if we're going to win this draft lottery or are we going to fall in the draft lottery once again. And hopefully there's a generational Japanese or Asian guy of some sort, even if he's from the States. And let's go, we do win the lottery. Our second time winning the draft lottery. Is it the year that the game will give us a generational Asian player as well? Because if it's not, that'll kind of suck. But if it is, that'll be absolutely fantastic. The Cardinals do move to number 2, the Giants to 3, the Twins to 4. Red Sox fall all the way to 5. Damn. And the Dodgers at 6, Cubs 7. Okay. All right. Nice having the first overall pick. If it's actually a good draft, that is. If not, we might have to draft somebody completely bad first overall, which would be kind of funny. But still, I would prefer a generational Japanese guy at number 1, of course. Okay, Rule 5 draft. We already have 40 guys on our 40-man roster. I don't think I'm going to claim really anybody at this stage, but let's just double check and see if there's anybody I would claim. So we don't really need pitcher help really at all. But I'm still going to look through this just to see if there's any interesting names, which right now does not seem to be the case. We'll look for the lowest overall Asian player, or the highest overall Asian player, and use that as a base, so to speak. which there doesn't seem to be a starting pitcher out there, so that's okay. Relief pitcher-wise, is there anybody out there? Trying to make sure we go through this list fast, but also want to make sure I'm seeing all the right names. Oh, there's Hiroyuki Yamada, our boy. Which obviously he's already on our roster, so we can't even claim him. I don't think anybody from our team is going to get claimed that we didn't add to the 40-man. Some of those guys I probably didn't need to add to the 40-man, but I did that just in case. Because obviously if they get claimed, it's not great for our team. Eventually at some point we might have to remove some of our drafted guys on from our 40-man, which is not ideal. Nobody in closers, catchers, does not seem to be anybody. Yeah, this is not really a deep one. Michael Kuo is there. Michael Kuo. First base, do we need first base help? Not really. Because we got Theodore Lee, we got Raymond Park, we got Russell Yang. Theodore Lee, I don't even know if he's going to be in the majors next season. I'll probably use Raymond Park in the majors over Theodore Lee, because Raymond Park's already on our 40-man. Then I'll also give us some like home run support. So I don't think Russell Yang's needed. He'd basically, or not Russell Yang, not Michael Kuo is needed. Michael Kuo would knock out Russell Yang and Russell Lim down in the depth chart more, so I'm not going to claim Kuo. Obviously, Russell Yang is ours. What else we got here? Michael Fong. Michael Fong, I do remember you. You have not panned out, really. You're a 67. We could use more second base help, however, though. He's not the best player in the world, but we do not have another second baseman behind Yokoyama. Huh, that's interesting. That's interesting. Some of these third basemen could play second base, like Sato. Yabu's not even on our roster yet. Chen isn't. Saito and Yamazaki isn't. There might be like a legitimate shout for Michael Fong, just to give us another second baseman. Yeah, I might honestly take Michael Fong, but then I have to remove somebody from our 40-man, I think. Anybody else worth taking? There's also probably some shortstops that could play second base, right? Yeah, Brian Chu could play second base. And then Michael Wong could be back in the majors playing shortstop. Oka isn't ready yet, so technically we'd have one shortstop if we move Chu to second base. Yeah, we might actually need to take Fong. We might actually need to. I think that's probably what I'm leaning towards doing, because we'll need that depth. Outfielding-wise, is there anybody here? Ken Yamaguchi, 23-year-old. I do think we were looking at Ken Yamaguchi at one point. He's not bad. But we do have Tom Lee. Don't have really any other left fielders. We do have some center fielders, though, like Nishi, Choi. I don't really know if it's mandatory to get ourselves another outfielder. Yeah, we have a lot of right fielders. It's probably not really mandatory. John Cato. I do remember this guy as well, I think, from way back. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I think we're going to take Ken Fong here. I think we're going to take our Mike Fong. I think Ken Fong was a different guy. Goddamn, I'm getting them all confused. There's so many guys with the same last name. But we'll take Michael Fong here to give us somebody behind Yokoyama. So welcome to Michael Fong. Not a high potential and a high overall, really. Well, he's a good overall, but not a high potential. But that will give us more depth. We now have a full 40-man roster, so now we cannot select anybody else. So I guess he was our last addition to the 40-man roster. All right. So that is all good and ready to go. Gives us a bit more depth at second base. I think we are ready to continue simulating. That's good. Get through this part fast as well. A lot of off-season stuff happening that I don't care too much about at the moment. Obviously, it'll be more important once we lose some players on our roster, but hopefully that never happens. Let's see. Renewable contracts. That's all good. Spring training. Let's jump to that part now. And no on that part. Perfect. Okay. So now we want to make sure our roster is actually set up for the start of the season the way we want it. So in terms of people that should be on the MLB roster, we're going to have to send down quite a bit of people here. Let me just actually get to this part for a second here. And then we need to knock this down a lot. We do still need to actually sign maybe some people that are like not players we've drafted. Yeah, we definitely need to. Maybe? Yeah, I think we definitely need to. Based on the number counts, I'm not going to have to write down anything. We are going to need 6 starting pitchers and 1 closer. Yeah. That kind of sucks. Okay. We do have some big contract extensions again next offseason, just in case you guys wanted to know about those. What do we got here in terms of closers? Lois Crozer. There's our former guy, Andrew Perez. You're going to come right back here, buddy. Right back to Vancouver. Because we need another closer, so welcome aboard. So there's our closer that we needed. We don't even need to nerf him, which is awesome. We do need 6 starting pitchers. And I'm going to have to lower all these guys, which kind of sucks, but is what it is. So I am going to sign some of these guys up here. So 1, there is 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. All right. So now I'm going to do a quick cut in this episode, and I'm going to quickly lower all those guys, and then we will continue to get to the start of next season. Okay, guys, so everybody has been nerfed that we just signed. So now comes the part where we need to assign people to MLB, AAA, AA, etc. So we obviously need 5 starting pitchers in each area. So right now it's looking like our rotation is going to be the exact same as last year, which means Vincent Tan is going to be still in AAA. We're going to probably send Kaz back down to Triple as well because he has the options. So there's 3. Tom Chen is probably not good enough for AAA. Let's be real. We don't have a lot of starting pitcher prospects actually after a certain point. That's kind of scary. So he's going to be in AA, which means one of these other guys we just signed could be in Triple. And then the rest of them will be sent to Double, if my math is correct here. So that's 3, and then 4, and 5. The other guy could stay in Triple. Doesn't really matter too much. In terms of relievers, we got how much relievers in total? Wow, we have 22 out of 15. We actually have a ton of relief pitchers. Holy crap. Okay, well, that's where we are maybe over exceeding our team. We might have to actually cut some of these guys randomly, but we will move Travis Reeder to Triple. I think he's going to have to go through waivers. That's okay. Because major leagues, we got 5 relievers. Cho. I don't know if I want Yamashita up here yet. He has options, so I think AAA bound for him is okay. So he'd be AAA. Tommy Wong could be Triple based on his overall. So that's 4 AAAs. Let's go with Choi as well in Triple. And then Walter Lee and those guys could be all AA. Someone will be going to single A. Wait, Akio Yamamoto, damn, he should be probably in AA based on his overall. You know, he technically was in Triple, I think, at one point. Maybe not. I'm going to have to put some of these guys in Class A because some of them are definitely not going to be able to be on the major league rosters, I should say, so to speak. We'll do that for now. If I need to make more spots, I'll do that. Vincent Chang in AAA, Perez in Double. And then Chung as our closer in the MLB. Looks good. Vincent Chang is going to be exciting once he gets to majors. He should be really good in AAA out of the gate. Catchers, we have Yamazaki and Nomo. Both will be in the MLB because Nomo will be playing third base. Takahashi could be the backup catcher to Yamazaki. That's fine. Jeff Ishii could be in Double. Maybe in Triple. He's got only a D potential, so let's move him to Triple just for a test run. Tadito Taguchi should be still in Double. Zoo could be in Triple because he's nothing anyways. You could be in Double, Hubbard. And you could be also in... Actually, yeah, you could also be in Double, Nieves. In terms of first baseman, Theodore Lee in Triple. Raymond Park in the MLB. Russell Yang in Double. I'm going to move him into Triple as well behind Theodore Lee. And then Russell Lim will have second, Double A. Munoz could go to Double. And same with Almanza. A lot of people in Double A right now, so we might have to move some of them up to Triple, but right now I'm just trying to get it a little bit organized. Doug Knowles, you could go to Triple. Sure. That's good. Michael Fong will be in the MLB. Yeah, it's all good right now. We'll probably have Richard Chen in Double. Koji Yamazaki in Double. Actually, maybe. Saito is going to move to single. He's not ready even for Double yet, I think. Oka is going to be in triple for sure. William Bay could be still in... Actually, he could be in triple. Yeah, he could be in... Actually, should I go with Taguchi in triple because he's older and might not pan out? Probably not. Actually, Taguchi just got added to our... he's always on our MLB team, that's right. So we got three MLB shortstops. Taguchi does still have his options. I'm going to give him a chance to play in AAA as the backup to Oka. Yeah. Just because Michael Wong's not going to probably grow much more. I want Taguchi to get a chance to prove himself to be a major league guy. Whitfield is obviously going to go down. Let's just put him to AAA for now. Actually, Chung should be in AAA. He's not ready for sure. Champlain Winfield could go to double for the time being. Sasaki should be in triple, right? Yeah, and Moulter Choi maybe should be in triple too. But let's leave him for a second. You'll move this guy to double. We will move this guy. Yeah, we'll move Sasaki to triple for a second. That's good on that front. We actually might be almost already good, which is nice. Brian Shin, he's going to go to triple for another year because he still has the options. Price will go down to triple as well, I think. Tom Cho could be back in double, actually, or triple. So let's move Tom Cho up for the time being. Double for you. And Class A for Ziborinsky, because he doesn't matter. Okay, so we have 2 extra people right now. You actually need 2 more people in the MLB. 2 more people in the MLB that are... probably infielders. Where's our lowest weakness right now in the infield? Catchers are fine. First base, probably need somebody up here. To be realistic. I think Russell Yang's going to get added to our 40-man roster if I could cut somebody from the 40-man. Because right now we have how much people? 32, 34. Yeah, we might have too much people already on our 40-man. Who's on our 40-man that's not on the Major League roster? A lot of guys that don't need to be. Okay. Well, we're going to remove you from our 40-man roster. And we're going to remove you from our 40-man roster as well. Okay, perfect. That should work. That should work. We're actually maybe good with that. We do need to call up still people, looks like, I think. Which I would probably lean towards... Maybe I should probably call up Walter Choi at this point. I don't even know. Tough decision. We already have a lot of relievers. I could call up Taguchi, but that gives us 3 shortstops. Does give us an extra second baseman, but we already have Michael Fong, who we just claimed, so it doesn't really matter too much on that. Just gonna make sure we're making the right moves here. Kazuhito Hayashi, I don't think I need him up here. Let's just go to start at Sim to next season and just see what they end up doing in terms of sending people down, because I think our roster's almost pretty much good. Let's get to the pitching rotation here. See if there's anybody I don't want. Seems fine right now. Okay, let's just reorganize our rotations and all that stuff now. This is going to probably take a long time still, this episode. I apologize about it. But that's the way these off-seasons seem to always work for some reason. So Walter Cho is a long reliever, 28, stamina, 25, 24. Yeah, it's probably fine. I don't know about having Walter Lee up here. I don't know about having him up here, but I don't know. Maybe it's okay. Sato definitely needs to be a long reliever. Tom Koo as a setup guy does not make sense. I would rather him as a mid reliever. So move him up here. Walter Lee is a setup guy. Might be okay, but his strikeouts per 9 pretty trash. Maybe I'd move Yamashita into that spot instead. But I do like the stamina better. Let's just leave Walter Lee as a setup guy for now. Okay, so pitching looks good there. Tom Chen's the only starting pitcher in Double-A. Everybody else is relievers. Just kind of nuts. Kind of nuts. I don't really want to have setup guys, but if they are low potential guys is okay, I guess. And in AAA, looks like this, which is fine. David Lim's a reliever, that's fine. Yeah, it should be okay. We might need to move some people up and whatnot to AAA. potentially. That's all good. Let's go to the lineups. So if we're looking at the lineups, Sato should be on... Oh my goodness. I forgot Sato is playing third base right now because I think Nomo should be a third baseman instead of Sato. But Sato's great too, and we just locked him up. We'll probably do Nomo versus righties again and Sato versus lefties. I think that's the way we'll do it. At least for right now. We could actually maybe use Nomo as a DH because of his power hitting. You know what? That's actually maybe what I'll do. We'll get Nomo in as a DH instead of CO. I do like CO's speed, though. So CO will be in the outfield, and then Sasaki could be a bench bat, maybe. Yeah, I think that may be where we go. And then we're just going to do this based off overall rating to start the season. Actually, I should put Sasaki in over Philip Nishi, maybe. 228. Sasaki had a 200, but he also had 18 home runs. Yeah, let's go Sasaki there instead. And we're going to go based off overall, like I said, just to make this a little bit easier for now. Eventually, we could adjust it based on how good people are doing. We'll keep Nomo in the 4 spot, I think. Actually, we'll keep him in the 4 spot, I think. Yeah, because I think those other guys could get on base quite easily, in my opinion, based on prior seasons. Okay, that looks good. We need to adjust this one as well. Who's going to be the DH on this one? We don't really care about Michael Fong too much. He's just more of a depth piece, so we'll put Nomo in as DH again. I think that's the right move, to put Nomo as a DH. You guys can let me know if that's actually a smart move or not. I think it is. But you never know. Some of these things might be a smart move, and then they're not really. So I'll keep going like that. Tom Lee, I would probably put over Yokoyama up there. And we'll just go like that. Yeah, okay. That's good. And then I won't worry about double and triple A just yet, but I'll adjust those probably after this episode just because it's already running long. So there is that. Let's simulate a week into the season so we can actually start seeing what this draft class is looking like, because that's the last thing I want to know about in this episode. So our first game of the season is a 9-5 victory over the Boston Red Sox. Hopefully that's a thing for things to come. Maybe this is a year for our team. Maybe this is a good year for the team. Our second game of the season is a 5-2 win. Okay. We might actually be good this year. And we still have a week before we can actually take a look at the class, so let's go through another week. And we are 5-3 in our first 8 games of the season. I'm excited, man. This is maybe promising. 7-0 loss kind of sucks, especially against a team that's not doing too well, but having some wins early on in the year is always a good thing. Obviously, the Astros are in our division too, so of course they brought in Steve Cortez, which kind of sucks. But let's go to this draft class. Obviously, we have the first overall selection. Is there going to be a generational Japanese guy for us this upcoming season? We did not lose one of our scouts. We could always replace our scouts if need be, but please give me a generational Japanese talent. Barry Tyler's probably a generational player, but he's not Asian. He's Canadian, of course. He's a relief pitcher too, though. That's insane. Maybe a first overall relief pitcher? What the heck? Okay. Well, let's see what we got for Asian talent here. Please, give me one. Please. I don't want to wait too long. The longer we go through this, the worse it is for us, probably. Okay, there we go. There we go. And that's actually a position we could use, which is huge. It's mostly go 16th, but Lawrence Matsui might end up being a really good player. You never know. So that's probably a guy that's high on our list right now is Lawrence Matsui. Hopefully he's generational. What else we got here in terms of this draft class? That's good that it's an infielder too. That's actually the best, because usually it's the starting pitcher. Wes Wolf, what a name. So far, seems like there's a lack of Asian talent here in terms of names. Hopefully we can discover more, but yikes. At least there's one early on, but then it seems like a giant gap just like last year. Yeah, this is not looking like a good class. Oh, Michael Chen, not relief pitcher, right fielder. We do need some outfielders too, so Michael Chen, another guy that's definitely going to be high on my list to scout out. Might be a high potential guy, probably not, but never know. Yeah, okay. At least there's some guys in areas we need. There's another William Bayek. Didn't we just draft a William Bayek? I don't really know, but this guy's a second baseman. He would have been draftable until last year. I thought we literally just drafted a guy with that exact same name a few years ago. I could be completely wrong with that. I know we do have a Bayek, but I don't know if it's William or not. Anybody else? So at least there seems like to be some infielders for us this year, and it's not just pitchers. Like, it might not be a strong draft class, but at least we're not running into just like a draft full of pitchers, because that's what we ran into a lot of times. Richard Bong. What the heck? Okay. That's the first time I've seen that as a last name from South Korea, relief pitcher. I mean, if we want more relievers, why not? But he's probably not super high on our list, of course. But still, we have not seen that last name on our team yet, so that's kind of funny. There's also Javier Doe. No, actually, he's from Cuba. But that sounds like an Asian last name, but it's probably an Asian Cuban guy or something. Because I think some of you guys said there's Asian people from Cuba, so. And this guy's name is Will Bruce. It's almost like Bruce Willis, but vice versa. It's funny. Alright. What else we got here? Zito, he's white. I don't think he's an Asian guy. Jungwoo An is back in the draft. I remember him from last year. He's not super good, but good to see some of the familiar faces again. This guy's probably not Asian. That's probably a white guy. Bone is the last name, or Bon? I don't even know. Anybody else? Richard Cho, another relief pitcher. Looks actually maybe decent. So, we have our options. There's William Fong. Maybe that's why I thought it was William Fong in the Rule 5. I honestly don't know at this point. Because I feel like I'm seeing double of every single name. Hitoki Yamaguchi, a third baseman. We could use more third basemen too. So maybe Yamaguchi's somebody we scout out. Maybe we do. Also Norioka, a catcher. Not supposed to get drafted, but might be decent. He's 18, so we'll definitely have to scout out him too. Michael Ling, first baseman. At least there's a lot of Asians, it seems like. Some of them are supposed to go undrafted, but it seems like majority of the guys are not starting pitchers, which is good. We'll be able to target some of our needs, but will they be good? There's another Brian Bayek, or another Bayek, I should say. Lewis Mock, what a name. Okay, I think that's pretty much probably all of them. There might be some more near the end of this list, but another Oka, Jason Oka, if we wanted another Oka that's a shortstop. Moda is definitely not Asian. Try and skim through this a little bit quicker because we've almost been recording for an hour. Michael Park, a starting pitcher. And we also have, I think I saw somebody else, but I cannot find them. That's okay. There's another Hayashi if we need more relief pitchers again. And that's pretty much that. That's all I'm going to show because it's just too long of an episode at this point. But anyways, guys, that's going to do it for this episode of our Tokyo Tropic Turtles Draft to Glory franchise mode. So in next episode, we will continue to simulate through the season. Obviously, we'll go up until like a week before the draft. We'll see what this draft class is looking like. I think it's going to be decent for us in the fact that we are able to at least get some more good positional players because obviously right now we're very strong in terms of pitching because actually I'm looking at the ratings right now. We actually have the 17th best pitching, so our pitching has improved. Our power has gone from 30th to 22nd, and our speed has gone to 27th. So we're actually improving on things. It's just going to be exciting to see what this team is actually capable of this year and what we could build also via the draft. So anything down below, and I'll see you guys next time.